here we are in the year 2012. This is supposed to be a great epic year in human history, and it is. It's the end of the Mayan calendar. December 21st is supposed to be the end of the Mayan calendar, which has classified the years into thousands of year periods. Well, it's supposed to end December 21st. That's the winter solstice, the longest night and the shortest day. Many, many people think it's the end of the world at that day, and all down through history. This is the end, perish the world. People have thought the world was coming to an end. So this is nothing new. What's really coming an end, I would say, is it's the end of the beginning, and it's the beginning of forever. And what I am trying to do is present a whole new system of thought for people, based on consciousness, because we have always taken the attitude that we are conscious and the earth isn't. Trees are just things. Animals are just things. They are resources. They are commodities. We are harvesting the rainforest. This is just it's total self-deception. What we're doing is murdering a rainforest, but we play around with words, and it's awakening is about letting in the light, and we are going to have to, if the human race is to continue here, and our human adventure continue, it is about getting things right with the earth. Okay, 2012, what's really going on? What's ending? What's beginning? This is the year when the forces of love and the forces of fear are meeting as they have never met before. It's like push has come to shove at every level of our life. Fear is up for us, and it was up all through the last 10 years when, since 9/11, Americans allowed themselves to be so dumbed down with fear that they were even at the point of allowing the government to get records of what library records of what people were reading. This is a tremendous invasion of civil liberties. Americans were so fearful that they were willing to give up all their civil liberties, threatened by, another terrorist attack, this, that. This is the year when the forces of love and the forces of fear meet. Now, every book I've read about 2012, most of them have been by male authors, they talk about, what is the shift? Well, the shift is from the negative to the positive. Well, the shift is from a certain dimension of existence to a higher dimension of existence. What's really going on is that the feminine energy is reappearing on the planet, strong. The goddesses are reappearing. Women's perspective is starting to reappear. What's really going on in 2012 is that the feminine energy is flowing into the planet. And it's been flowing into the planet for a while. And this is the year when that inflow of feminine energy is peaking. And after it peaks, it will steadily flow in until in about 300, and this is the prophecy of many indigenous peoples, until about the year 300, the human race will have achieved its greatest maturity. And after that, who knows what will happen. Now, that's the positive scenario, and my take on things is it's the reappearance of the feminine in history. And with it, women and men with their own feminine sides. They don't have to be macho males anymore. They can cry. There are very different values coming in with women. Women haven't gotten they haven't found the strength in their own voice yet, or their ancient identity. Women have always been identified with the planet, and they've been put down with the planet. And both the planet and women have been taken to be the property of men. What's coming back is the whole feminine energy, women gradually moving into their true power. The poet Rilke has a wonderful prophecy about women. He said, only temporarily will women take on men's roles in order to purge themselves of all the projections which men have thrust on them. And then we shall see woman as she is, and she will reorder the love relationship, totally disordered these days from the ground up. I say yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're sick of this, the kind of nonsense that's going down, these attitudes to the earth, the destruction of people, of the planet, of animals, plants. But we're going to do a whole lot more. We're going to make all of these male roles our own. And we're going to define them in our own ways, because what are we here for? Well, let's bring in the love and let the fear go. And we're here to nurture the earth and each other. It's that simple. We're here to care about the earth and each other. And you can have a lot of fancy theories about the earth is this and we're that. That's what we're here for. The Dalai Lama recently made a very remarkable statement. The world will be saved by Western woman. That's pretty shocking. But in fact, Western women are kind of the avant-garde of women's rights planet-wide and women's perspective. We have access to the media here as women in the third world don't. We have access to education as women in many other countries do not. We have a tremendous responsibility. I would say when women start thinking of themselves as goddesses and not doormats, the whole world will change. We come out of a long tradition of being told we are the property of men. And we come out of a long tradition of dualisms, which is pretty typical of the sign of Pisces. Two fish swimming in the other direction, in opposite directions. And those dualisms, man and woman, heaven and earth, body and soul. Man is divine, woman isn't. Heaven is divine, we all know where heaven is, it's up there. Earth isn't. The soul is divine, the body isn't. And these distinctions are deep in our psyche still, and they're driving us all nuts, and they're driving the destruction of the planet. Now, the most drastic prediction for what is going to happen to the human race is that of Lovelock. He predicts the population of the world is now about 7 billion. He predicts that about the year 2020, the desert, the Sahara Desert in Africa will be creeping into Europe. That drought, storms, famine, disease will be increasing worldwide. The storms will be bigger. The upheavals in the Earth's atmosphere and climate will be more. And Lovelock's prediction is that by 2100, which is only, 80 years away or so, by that time the human population will have shrunk to about 500 million people living around the poles. Now, that's a pretty drastic number. Our population is going to shrink from 7 billion to 500 million living around the poles. And how's that going to happen? Lovelock says, through wars over water, through famine, through disease. This is a very drastic prediction. But I think, and Lovelock thinks, no matter what we do now, we have so damaged the atmosphere and the planet with our wasteful ways that nothing we can do is going to change things. I disagree. And in the end, even Lovelock says, well, what we don't really know at this point is how resilient the Earth is. How resilient, how she can cope with these changes. And he calls the Earth Gaia, the goddess, Gaia. And finally he says, it's up to Mother, it's up to the goddess, whether the human race stays here or is over.